Hello and welcome to OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Tech Wizard Abigail Mott.
Hello.
Still working on that catchphrase?
Gave up.
Oh, how far did you get?
Not very far. Decided it wasn't worth it.
Just got to hello.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent stuff. Excellent. Shall we... What have you been playing?
Nothing, because I've been sick and also we've had work done in our house this week.
Oh yes. Shall we not go into that? Shall we go into that?
We had our shower fixed.
Nice. Nice?
Yes.
Nice.
This is riveting conversation, but shall we continue?
Yes. I've been playing something.
What have you been playing?
Just on and off, but I remember Dirt 3?
Nope.
Oh, it's the first time I had to print a retraction. I was doing the finger commas there. Apostrophe.
Inverted commas.
That's the one, inverted commas. Because I said in the first little what have I been playing part, the first week I said this game's great, I absolutely love it, I think it's brilliant. And I then had to come back a week later and say it's terrible, don't buy it, because I'd got past about the first third of the game and hit the Gymkhana stuff, or the first quarter, and the Gymkhana stuff wrecks the game. It's terrible.
Okay.
Gymkhana is like doing donuts and doing drifts where you knock over billboards and stuff like that. That's what it is. Tricks to round, instead of it being a proper race, it's like a tricks to build it. It's like the Tony Hawk's skater thing or something like that, where you try to build up points, but it's terrible. It's rubbish, and it ruins the part of the game which is half decent, where you're actually driving a proper rally race. So far in the first one, I haven't hit any the fourth one. So far I haven't hit any Gymkhana stuff, but I'm not actually that far through it, but it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an issue, which is that I've hit a race which I'm not actually sure if I can win. Not because of the difficulty, not because of I'm just not good enough or anything like that. I genuinely think, and I hit this last night, so I'm glad I played it. I genuinely think there might be a problem with it, because 95% of the time that you brake, the car veers wildly to the left.
Right.
No, left. Sorry. You are right though, 5% of the time it will turn to the right, which means that you can't really compensate, because if you try steering right to compensate for the left, it will go right and you'll just smash into a forest wall or a tree. But it is really... But there is absolutely nothing that I can do about it, and it is constant, and the vast majority of the time it is pulling to the left. But I think it's doing it in such a weird way, such a bit part way, that it's not a full steer, which means a full steering lock right isn't helping me to compensate, and I think that's why I'm oversteering to the right. So I haven't found a way of compensating yet. So for the first half of this particular section that I'm on with this car, I can't, because the races are done in 4 stages, I think, or 3 stages or 2 stages, which are sprints, and each stage has a section.
Yeah.
So the stage would be what you would call a race, and then you've got a section, which is like a sector in F1. And for the first 2 of those, the first half of the race, 2 out of 4, the races have different lengths and they've got different numbers of sections. This one's 4. For the first 2, I just don't use the brake. There's one big U-turn, left turn, which I actually do brake for because it helps me turn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one at the end of that next straight, which is a right-hand U-turn, where I sort of have to tap it, because there's no way I can just let the air brakes work. I wouldn't be able to accelerate, but I'm not going that fast because it's right in front of you after the first one, where you've basically stopped anyway. But after you hit the end of the second sector, whatever it is they precisely call it, you have to start braking, because it's got a lot more sharp turns, and I can't do it, because every time I hit the brakes, I don't veer wildly to the left as such. That's maybe not putting it the right way. I spin to the left.
Mm-hmm.
I will start spinning down the road, and sometimes if it's really, but I'll hit a tree, or I'll have to reverse to get back on facing the right way. It's a nightmare, and I just don't feel like there's any way that this car should be doing that, like it's designed to do that. It's really... I do not feel like this is a representation of that Subaru, which is the car you drive at that stage, and for that race, sorry, and I just cannot believe at all that this was done deliberately. So if it was, then it's a poor decision, but if it wasn't, then it's just really bad design, because it's every time I hit the brake, I'm veering wildly to the left. I can't help but think, possibly trying to think good of them, that they released a patch at some point, and the patch caused this, and nobody picked it up until they were done making patches, but I don't see how this could happen in a good game.
Riveting.
So that story is riveting. I'm going to keep trying it until I get through it. But
it sounds incredibly boring.
Well, it's a rally game. It's a racing rally game. So it's basically every race is a time trial. I've actually found it really quite soothing in a weird way. I quite like it. I've got a difficulty set quite high, and I'm winning all the time. This is the first time I've struggled, and I am like 10 or 20 seconds behind because I can't use my brakes. And that's the problem. That's the problem with it being a time trial. You can't use the sort of standard protocols for keeping yourself in the lead when something goes wrong with the game. You can't block them physically on the track. You can't use them as to help you turn properly or to brake. So you can't even see if they're struggling with it too, and every car's pulling to the left and the AI is just dealing with it better. You don't have a clue, because the only car you ever see is your own. So I don't really know what I'm going to do.
People are using the speech to put them to sleep.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to keep trying, and I'll figure something out.
Should we move on to the stories?
Yes.
It's just that was such a whirlwind of intrigue. I think we need to calm ourselves down a bit.
By heading to Hong Kong. As we said, we're on to Hong Kong now. As a fashion, we're actually in America for this story, but it refers to Hong Kong. There have been protests outside of Blizzcon 2019, as well as inside during the question and answer session because of Blizzard's response to Blitzchung.
That was Blitzchung, the incident that happened with Wei Chong. So that's what I found.
Okay, what's the incident that you found about?
It was about Wei Chong used a live stream interview to show support for protesters and Blizzard revoked.
Yes, his gamer name is Blitzchung.
So this is...
It's the same Chung.
It's the same... Is it the same incident? It's the same thing, is it?
He was... I don't know if you saw any videos of it.
No, I've not. I didn't watch any videos.
Okay, so he won a competition for Hearthstone, I think it was.
Yes, he won $10,000 in winnings.
Mm-hmm.
But after he showed support for it, he was stripped of his $10,000 and also slapped with a ban for a year.
Yeah.
However, after much outcry from people saying this is ridiculous, his winnings were reinstated and his ban was reduced from 12 months to 6.
Yes. That refers to Blitzchung specifically, but do you remember what happened to the two casters?
No.
They were also fired. Their firing was then reduced to a 6-month ban, but they would have to reapply and get another job, so technically they're still fired. It's like saying you're fired, but apply for any jobs you find in the future and we'll consider you. It's basically,
so they were banned from reapplying for 6 months, is that what you're saying?
Basically they were banned.
Or they were given a 6-month sabbatical and then
No, they were fired, and then they were given... it was reduced to, you have been fired for 6 months, then you can apply to get another job. But obviously, one, they can't do that because they can't trust that they can keep that job long term. And two, Blizzard are under absolutely no obligation to actually give them a job. So they'll probably just, or even treat them with any decent respect, because this is America. So they'll probably just throw nope, no, just throw it in the bin. I mean, I don't know if you can blacklist someone in America.
Oh, people do it all the time. Unofficially,
Yeah,
they
so,
do it.
So they'll probably just try that as well.
Because that was what the whole, like, was it like people like Roger Ailes were doing that, and Harvey Weinstein and things like that. They were, well, I can't remember if the Weinstein we have to say alleged or not, but
I think the difficulty with Weinstein,
because they said that we'll blacklist you in this industry if you don't do what I say. I think there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, but I think with Weinstein, is he not admitted it?
That took me a while to realize what you were saying there. Why do you always have to do that? Just say the name.
I don't want to. I think that did he not admit it?
I can't remember. I think he said he admitted he was a sex addict. I don't know.
Right,
He just tried to weasel his way out of it so many times. I just gave up trying to
Right, it's just that there's a part of me that if somebody admits it, then I don't know why you have to say alleged at that point.
I don't know. But anyway, we've digressed from topic. Let's stick to the topic.
So basically what has happened here is that people have been protesting. Now outside there was lots of
Angry people.
Yeah, with placards shouting about freedom of speech and voices and that sort of thing. And inside, when they would go question and answer, and people would, there was a Blizzard board, or was it where, up front?
A panel.
Yep. And the host would walk from person to person and say, "Do you have a question?" And the person would say, "Free Hong Kong." Yeah. And then you go to the next person and say, "Free Hong Kong." So obviously that didn't happen all the time. I saw a video in which it happened a couple of times. But the Blizzard panel refused to answer those as questions. They just moved on to the next question. And the host would say something along the lines of, "Yep, sounds good to me," or "Yep, thanks for your question," that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not much they can say when people say that.
Well, they could actually address the issue at hand, like these people would not be turning up and saying that if Blizzard hadn't reacted the way they did to Blitzchung.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. But
so that happened.
Whatever.
Shall we move on to the next story we wish to talk about, which also has to do with Blizzard?
Well, so I think this is actually a part of the first one in a weird way, because they do interconnect quite strongly.
That's literally what I just said.
Oh, I thought you said it's completely distinct,
no,
but it happens to involve Blizzard.
No, I said let's move on to the next story, which also involves Blizzard.
But I think it actually relates quite strongly to the first story as well as just Blizzard. But if that's what you said, then that's
whatever.
Cool. At BlizzCon 2019, Blizzard also announced Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4.
These are games.
Indeed they are.
These are games.
Sequels as...
two very different games from each other. Vastly different. Vastly different.
Vastly different.
I watched the trailers this morning. They are vastly different.
Yeah. So...
I'm going to have nightmares for weeks.
Diablo.
That monkey in that suit.
Oh... Overwatch. Overwatch gave you the...
No, it didn't. Somebody said, "Is that a monkey in the trailer?" So that's why I used the phrase monkey. I know it's a gorilla.
It's an ape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's technically a gorilla at that point.
No. There's there's a family of apes, and then there's a family of monkeys. There's a distinction between the two. So a gorilla is part of the ape family.
I meant if it's smart enough to put on glasses and wear a battle suit.
I'm not having this debate with you.
So
genetically, it is a gorilla.
I don't think it is a gorilla by that point.
It's a cartoon.
It's a game.
Which is also a cartoon.
Is it?
No.
Okay. Do you remember the last Diablo announcement?
No.
The one made last year. So the announcement I'm referring to is Diablo Immortal.
This was a mobile game.
Yes, you remember. Good.
I can read.
Oh. Well, what happened was they announced it and they had a wee question and answer between the developers and the people in the crowd.
Oh, wait, yes.
And one guy walked up and said...
Schmooby.
He said, "Is this an April Fool's joke?"
Yes. I couldn't remember what he said.
And the developer's just standing there like, this could not be going worse. Obviously didn't say that out loud, he said that inside his own brain box or something as maybe a little bit less child friendly, but that went badly for them.
We've all had that moment.
Yeah. Although in this case, I do not see how they saw it any different. Like, you announced a Diablo game and then at the end of it put in that it's for the phones.
I don't understand, like, after watching the trailer for Diablo 4, I don't actually understand how you could ever have that on a phone. Like, anything like that on a phone.
Yeah. I mean, I was playing a wee phone game just to try it out the other day, Stronghold Kingdoms, which is part of the same family of games, Stronghold, which was originally released in the early 2000s. I got it years and years and years ago. And it's amazing. I absolutely love it. I would sit down now and happily play through that game. It's fantastic. But they used the graphics in this game, and it's one of those wee clones, like the ones where, you can attack a nearby village. Here, build up your village, and then build up your, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it used the graphics of the game, and I thought, I can't play this because I'm going to ruin my love for the actual game because this thing's rubbish. That must be what it was like with Diablo Immortal. It must have used graphics from like the first game or something like that, because now phones can do that. And it's, no, I'm ruining this for myself. I can't do this. If I play that game, it's going to ruin Diablo. I'm forgetting it exists. And I think I think they could put it on a phone, but it would be a dumbed down, really light diet version that was
because
despised.
From what I watched, it was very rich. It was very detailed. It was lovely. Disturbing as anything.
Aye.
But lovely.
Yeah.
From the aspect of like something that you could actually watch, and at moments you forget it's a game. Like I understand this is just a trailer for a game.
Aye, but if you've got a decent trailer, it can be indicative.
Yeah.
The Blizzard are a big company. These are big games. They have to work. Like Blizzard. To be fair to Blizzard, when they've released a big game, they don't normally make a mistake. It's usually a good product.
What did you think of the Overwatch 2 trailer?
I have not seen the 2 trailers.
Oh, great.
Yes, the issue that I have is that I have seen some Diablo played, but I wasn't going to watch the first Overwatch trailer because I wasn't going to watch the Overwatch 2 trailer either because it really the first game upset me a wee bit. Because I saw the trailers and the hype and I thought, oh, this looks really interesting.
Yeah.
This looks really amazing. And then I found out it's like a multiplayer combat game only. There's no storyline campaign at all.
In this one, there seemed to be a storyline campaign.
I think they might have done something like that.
Because this one seemed to be quite heavy in a story.
I think they might have put the matches together to make some sort of campaign or whatever. I mean, there's a game that tried that called Blink, and it went really poorly. But when I found out it was multiplayer only, and all those videos were basically just setup that would never come into the actual game.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I don't know. I mean, I have no doubt that Overwatch is a good game to play. But I was too upset by that.
Well, these are the notes I've made. Overwatch 2 plays like a movie trailer. Diablo 4, which also plays like a movie trailer, is freaky and disturbing and cool. And I've written the name of a character in it, but you've not seen it, so I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay, here's the thing though, right? Did at any point say in-game play footage at the
No,
screen?
there was.
So this is a pre-rendered cinematic trailer. They're not indicative of what the game will look like in style, but they can be indicative of what the game will look like in quality.
Yeah.
Because if you've put enough time into getting a good trailer, you'll put it into... Because if you do not release any non-pre-rendered gameplay footage,
yeah,
people of today's world notice. Maybe 10, 15 years ago you could have snuck that through. Now you can't.
No.
And people notice.
I'm trying to remember when they... I'm trying to remember the name of the game that started this off, because this, like you say, it's quite a new thing where they put not in-game footage, not in-game play.
Yeah.
There was something that triggered that because people were like, "Oh my god, you said it was going to look like this, but it actually ended up looking like."
Are you thinking No Man's Sky?
I can't remember, but I have seen the new trailer for the new Pokemon games. They're very creatively done. I like those. they've got like people holding all the old Nintendo like Game Boys, like the first Game Boy Classic and then the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color, and then it shows like what the Pokemon looked like in each game. So like traveling up, and then eventually everybody's holding like that new Switch, not the Switch but
the Switch Lite.
The Switch Lite. And then everything's like a lot more modern looking, and all the Pokemon look like today's Pokemon and things like that. It looks really good. I like how they did that. I just wanted to say that. Yay.
Yeah. I know. I think I remember seeing a picture of what Pikachu looks like now. And it's weird that I know it's a handheld console and it's quite a while ago, but it still sort of gets me a wee bit. That if you look at the quality of animation in cartoons and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's improved wildly since the late 90s, right? You still get the old style done because it looks great, but you've got new styles as well.
Yeah.
But it was a game and a cartoon.
And a card game.
And the game looked nothing like the other two. The Pikachu in the game looked... I mean, you could tell it was Pikachu, but... Let's be honest, really, it didn't...
I'm not going to have this debate because at the end of the day, like I was not a Pokemon fan, I was a Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
Yeah.
And we had the debate of what seems more realistic, having an animal in a little ball that you can go, Pikachu, I choose you. Or you have like a card that has like a chip in it that can be seen when you put it face down or something, and a technological advance that it will read that chip and then it produces a holographic image in front of you.
Well, you're right.
I think that's kind of how it worked.
But see, the thing is that debate, you've been proven right.
Yes.
Because they can do that now.
Yes.
So that's, within 20 years, you were correct.
Yeah.
Pokemon people, let's be honest, they don't want to be right. Because it's a creature in a tiny ball.
I still like Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I attempted to watch the series recently, like in the last few months. I couldn't get through the first episode. I just got annoyed.
Yeah. Well, you could, just to finish my point, so you can see that it's Pikachu. You know it's Pikachu, you can tell it's Pikachu. But to be honest, it looks like a facsimile of the other ones. It looks like they're trying to replicate that. Whereas the other two just look amazing. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, Pikachu in the game looks as good as... Because I think the animation sort of rendering stuff is very similar when it comes to the game and the actual cartoon. So it looks much more
I think
akin.
we've talked too much now about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I was just going to say...
Watch the trailers for Diablo 4.
You know how people can have the debate about... People can have the debate about the Star Trek transporters. Do they transport someone that's the same, or do they kill them and rebuild a new one?
I've literally never heard that argument before in my life.
Like, you've seen the transporters which bring people up, right?
Yeah.
So people think,
it dismantles yourself and then reassembles yourself.
Yeah, but is it a new version of the other person? Is it like a clone, or is it the body of the old person?
It's the body of the old person.
Right, but some people say, I don't see how that makes sense. Scientifically, they would be identical but different, because they would be... You've disassembled one body and used the energy to build another one. That's like basically eating. So it's not the same person.
Could you use it to, like, if choose what you would want to keep out then if you transported yourself? Like, you don't want a nose anymore, for example. You know what? You know what I mean. Like, I don't mean like but if you were to transport from like one side of the room to the other, you could literally say, I don't know. My gallbladder is not good. Get rid of my gallbladder, and that decrease, and you don't need surgery. It's just gone. I mean, you'd have a whole mess of internal bleeding, but.
Yeah, I think you possibly could.
Don't want an arm anymore, and you're just like...
Yeah, beam across the room and you've got no arms and legs, and then beam back and you've got them back again.
Yeah.
I suppose you could. I think you'd have to, just looking at the lore, you'd probably have to do an awful lot of engineering to the transporter to get it to do that.
It's Star Trek, who cares?
Well, but there's always an engineer that can get it done in 4 hours. I need it done in 2. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the same sort of thing with Pokemon. See, when you put them in the ball, are they just like dead, and then you bring them back out?
I think they're in sleep. They're like sleeping.
Yeah, but their energy inside the ball.
I don't know.
They become that red beam of energy. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. So they're big announcements, and they're big announcements for a few. It's not just because they're big games, or because of the problems with Hong Kong. I think this has partly been announced now because they're trying to get people to look kindly on them.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a working theory at the minute that if one of these games isn't released next year and then the other one the year after, it's because they're using the announcement to sort of curry favour.
Mhm.
But it's not just those reasons that make it big announcements. It's because that Blizzard have not released a new non-remastered game since the first Overwatch, which I think was 2015, 16, something like that. So it's been about 3 years and they haven't released a new...
Was Spyro not Blizzard?
Nope. It was Activision.
Oh. That's from
Also,
confused.
Spyro's a remaster.
Yeah, but you said non-remastered. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wasn't thinking.
like, they've done StarCraft, I think, and they've done a World of Warcraft thing, but they've not released a non-remastered game since Overwatch. Since Overwatch. So that makes that a much bigger thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how these games are received by the public and the gaming community.
It'll also be interesting because not Roger Ailes, that's the name you use, because unfortunately, it's a shame that I've done that, because see the guy who used to be the CEO of Blizzard?
Yeah.
Really nice. Like, he seems to be a really nice person. Like, he'll come out and he'll stand up and say, I don't like Trump. The new team, since they got him out and Activision were able to put in their own person, the new team is a case of, like, they're throwing people under the bus so that they can sell their future games in China.
Yeah.
So they're not the same thing. So we don't actually know whether or not that Blizzard will make a good game or not.
We shall see.
Or whether or not they'll Activision it and destroy it.
Should we move on to the next story?
One last point, just to cover
Quickly.
how big this is as well. World of Warcraft and Hearthstone are pretty much collapsing. So
Yeah, well, I wasn't exactly surprised by that.
no, but that
Nobody's played those games in years. Well, there will be some people that have played it, but it's not been as...
There was millions and millions playing WoW up to a little while ago, but I think that some of the extra content that came out just wasn't good enough and they fell away.
Yeah.
Hearthstone is collapsing, I think, because they're pulling the plug on it. Because it's not making the it was 20 million a month it was making at one point, or a week. It's not making that anymore, so they're pulling away.
Okay. Should we move on to the next story?
Yes, it's your story.
Yes, it's my story. So this is a story which I don't really know what to think of it. Basically, there's a guy called FaZe Jarvis who's got a YouTube channel. He's got many, many subscribers. I was unable to locate how many, apart from... I did not want to actually go into his channel.
No, I wouldn't
in case I got,
either.
like, recommendations for his videos. Basically, he has received a lifetime ban for cheating in the Solos Battle Royale mode in Fortnite by using an aimbot, which is a type of cheating software, which means you can't miss.
So, does that assist his aiming, or does it cause bullet magnetism?
I believe it assists his aiming.
Okay.
Now, Epic Games have got a zero tolerance for cheating in any respect, but FaZe Jarvis was never, like, quiet about the fact that he was using cheating software. He would go on his videos and say he was cheating. In fact, he actually, there's been reports saying that in his videos that he said, I'll make more of these videos if I get more likes for my videos. So there's that. Now,
he'll make deliberate
he was
cheating
basically bragging about it.
So he'll deliberately make cheating videos if the ones he's made are like...
Here's the thing. This is how he makes his money.
Yep.
He's a streamer. Did I say he's also 17 years old?
Well, I don't know why he needs to make money at 17.
Well, if you could, you would.
Yeah, but is this making?
So anyway, now people are debating whether or not he should receive this lifetime ban for playing Fortnite.
Uh-huh.
people are saying that he's 17 years old, he's made a mistake, life experience and all this kind of stuff. So they're saying that it should be reduced. Some people close to him are saying, come on, make it a season, not a lifetime ban or a year ban. A season is about 10 weeks, they were estimating. And then I had other people going, no, come on, this is ridiculous. It didn't matter how old you are, if you've been cheating, you're cheating. And how much money has he made off the back of cheating in something? Mm-hmm. So there's these two debates going on. At the moment, he lives in LA in a multi-million dollar mansion with many other people.
Where's he from?
He's from somewhere in England.
How did he get a visa to America at 17 when I can't get one with 3 degrees? I don't want one, but I did check it out. Yeah, I can't get one.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Anyway, but people are saying that will he still be allowed to live in this house if he's no longer being able to stream? Because there are other gamers. I think it's like, I from what I read, it's a bit like a Team 10 situation. If you don't know what Team 10 is, look up Jake Paul.
How about we go with it's sort of a bit like a really, really, really aggressive and vicious international rescue.
But there are people who are saying that he's 17, he's made a mistake, have also brought in arguments. I know that Ninja, who's a Twitch streamer, was a Twitch streamer, my mistake, has moved on to another platform now. I forget off the top of my head what the platform is now called, but
Mixer?
I think so.
Yeah.
But he was saying that people have forgiven like Logan Paul for the things he did in the Suicide Forest video. And he wasn't banned off YouTube. This is not a YouTube ban that we're talking about for this young man. It is a ban on a game which has a zero.
You're talking about a ban, sorry.
A ban. So off topic, so off mic there, Tommy has said, I said van at one point. He has been given a lifetime ban. He has been given a lifetime ban for playing Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, cheating. From playing
cheating.
Fortnite for
Yes.
cheating, yeah.
Yes. So I think that they need to, in my opinion, I do agree with the ban. But, however, I think there needs to be like a strike system. Like, first time you're banned for 3 months. Second time you're banned for 6 months. And then the third time you're banned for maybe a year. But I don't think they need to have a lifetime ban. I think that's a bit ridiculous.
I disagree.
Why?
Because he didn't just... I think you're right if you could say the person accidentally cheated.
Oh, he didn't accidentally cheat.
That's my point.
Yeah.
If you've accidentally... If they look at you and say, you're running this software, and you're like, oh no, I forgot to turn that off. 6 months. Second time a year, third time done. Life. But he's bragging about it, saying, I'm going to keep doing this if it makes me money. No, lifetime ban, get him done, get him out, because he's not going to stop. He's just going to start trying to hide it.
I would also just like to reaffirm, he still has his YouTube channel that's not been taken down. He still has it.
That's
and
fine.
He's still, or his Twitch channel, everything. He's not been banned from that. It's just been banned from playing this game.
That's fine, because that's the game. He wantonly cheated on it because he knew it would make him money. If it's still going to make him money, he's going to do it again. What's his remorse level?
I think he released a video where he was crying.
Yeah,
I tend to not watch those videos.
He's lost his money. That's what he's crying about. He's not crying he's let anybody down. He's not crying that he's actually cheated and he's taken wins away from people who earned them. What he's done is he's crying about losing his money. Because he's a 17-year-old child. He's not a child here, but he did move to America, so that makes him one.
Yeah.
That's
a weird thought, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in England he actually might have been a child anyway, but here he'd have been an adult. And they probably would have sued him. How is he in America as a child?
I don't know.
Who's his legal guardian?
I don't know. I am not his legal guardian. I don't know how he got out there. I'm not his manager. I don't know how he got out there. But he's out there. That's where everybody goes. America, or they go
London.
To Brighton.
Yeah.
Not London, it's Brighton.
It's Brighton.
Everybody lives in Brighton.
Well, they either live there...
Most people live in Brighton.
Or they record in Brighton because it's within range of London.
I think most people live in Brighton, it seems like.
Yeah,
Feels like it.
I think there's a population of 5 million in
That
the
or
United Kingdom.
Glasgow. I don't think there's many YouTubers that live in Edinburgh. It's always Glasgow.
Do you know of any that live where we live?
Us.
Yeah, and I'm not moving anywhere. I like it here. Like, they're always like, oh, but it's within range of people, it's within range of the city, you can go and walk about and you can show them, oh...
Let's stop talking about our town.
Ugh. Why? I want to see grass. Boof. Buff, I say, buff.
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 Beef.
Buff jerky.
Buff.
Buff Wellington.
No, it's not buff. Buff is French for beef.
Buff. No, I'm just saying buff.
I was watching like a YouTube video. It was like a BuzzFeed video, and it was like what we call things compared to America or something like that. And they brought in the aubergine, and basically we call it aubergine. It's a French word, and they were talking about why so many of your words French. And I thought they were going to go into the long history of the battles between England and, because a lot of our words come from that, like poisson, boeuf, and things like that come from the French language.
Yes.
That's why. But no, they didn't. I think they just said because we just took the word or something like that.
But they're have you seen those things where they ask Americans to point out continents on a world map? And
I can't do that.
You can't point out continents.
Countries I can't. Most countries I can't. I wouldn't be able to. Like countries in South America, apart from probably Brazil and Chile.
Yeah, but my point is that if you said point out 5 countries...
I think Chile's long like a chili.
But that works absolutely
That's how
fine.
I remember.
And Brazil is fat like a Brazil nut. But the point is that if you said to somebody, point out 5 countries in Europe, they'd be able to do it fine. See, if you they might get confused between EU and Europe as a continent, but that's kind of understandable because the phrase would be the same thing either way.
I always got confused, like how people would say that we are not part. We're not, because I always thought that we weren't on the continent.
We are on the continent.
I never
of Europe.
thought that. I never knew that, because I thought that in order to be part of the continent, you had to be attached to the continent, and I thought because there's the English Channel, we weren't.
No, we're
I also,
fine.
when I was very young, I didn't understand. I thought that when I was very young, so like at 12, I thought that the UK was a continent, and then Scotland, England, and Wales, and were
that makes
countries.
sense. But
that makes more sense to me.
it makes more sense because the UK is a country, right, that's listed at the UN as being made up of countries.
Let's get back to the story, because I think...
But it's fascinating to see that, because if you said to somebody from Europe, from Scotland, if you said pick out a couple of countries in North America, they'd say Canada, the US, Mexico, and then you'd be done, right? The big ones would stick out. But they don't even know where the UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, big countries in world history are.
I think I probably have trouble pointing out Spain on a map. I probably get close, but I don't think I get it spot on.
I think you'd be surprised because you'd find France and it'd be right underneath it.
Is it?
Yeah.
There we go then.
Portugal is in line with London and Edinburgh on the Greenwich Mean Time scale thing. So you just have to look kind of south from the UK and you'd see it.
Okay. Anywho.
Yes.
So.
But when it comes to your story here, the simple fact of the matter is, do you remember what happened with Lance Armstrong?
Yes.
They stripped him of all of his titles.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened with... I mean, even just look at it from the point of view of Blitzchung. All he did was voice his concern about a complete loss of human freedom, and he got banned.
Yeah, but that was a year. That wasn't a lifetime ban.
It was 6 months, but no. But
well, yeah, it was reduced to 6 months.
He got banned for doing something that Blizzard are supposed to support.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. This is cheating at a game.
I think if the case was severe enough, yes, lifetime ban. But this is not a severe enough case, in my opinion.
But I don't see how though, because he cheated, he bragged about it, and then did it again. What's more severe than that?
I don't know. Anyway, so that's that story. Should we move on to the next story?
Yes.
Because I think we took too long to talk about that.
Okay, what's next?
We are talking about Zenimax.
No, we're not.
We are talking about Chad Robertson.
Yes, Chad Robertson. Was the head
of live services at Bioware.
Yes, so I think he might be there for another couple of days, or he might be gone. I'm not sure.
He's been there for 14 years.
Aye. So he's leaving, or left.
In the process of leaving.
I think by the time this goes out, he might have left.
Process of leaving.
Yeah.
Schrodinger's leaving.
Yeah, so that little particular facet links to another part of this.
That made no sense, that comment I made. Schrodinger's leaving.
Schrodinger's leaving
Doesn't
the building.
make sense.
Yeah. Schrodinger has left the building.
Do you get what that means? Do you get what that is? The Schrodinger's
It's the
cat.
Yeah. Did you get what I said? Has left the building?
Yes.
Elvis?
Yes.
So, this links to more Bioware news. That there, well, it's not news, it's rumours. So there's been some rumours going around that Anthem is sort of rigging for silent running. And what they're going to do is overhaul the entirety of Anthem. So Bioware is rigging for silent running, sorry. And they're going to overhaul Anthem and relaunch it next year.
Okay.
Do you remember like No Man's Sky did that?
No.
And Fortnite had to do the same thing.
Yes, yeah.
However, there are other rumours that suggested that EA are rigging for silent running because they're going to pull the plug.
On Anthem?
Yep. And the loss of yet another top tier employee, it somewhat supports that idea. There have been some people saying that actually they're getting rid of all the old people because the older people are not doing their job because Andromeda and Anthem are rubbish. I don't believe that for a second, because these people made KOTOR and the original Mass Effects. These games are fantastic, and the issue that we have here is that EA aren't giving them the time they need and the management that's necessary, or the freedom to make the games properly. That's why these people are going. I do not believe that the EA have cleared house so that Anthem can be remade with a better team. I believe that, because I mean that's live services. The previous guy was the guy in charge of development of Anthem. They've moved Anthem's development to a new studio to try and fix the problem. I don't see this working. I think that this is people leaving because they don't want to be there anymore.
It just feels like people are just jumping ship and that it's just sinking and no one's going to attempt to rescue it.
Yeah, I genuinely 110 billion% believe that they are rigging for silent running, so when they pull the plug, nobody notices. Do you remember what I said back when we started this about Anthem the first time it came up? I said I'd expect to see that game in 2021-22 because I don't think it will be ready before then. They released it in 2019.
I keep forgetting it was this year. I keep thinking it was last year.
Yeah, I think it was March this year. Have a look at that game. Tell me it's not rubbish. Tell me I wasn't right.
You were right. It's rubbish.
Maybe 2020 at a push, but 2019, way too soon.
Too soon.
We need to have a badge.
So, on to the last story. Zenimax this time.
Yeah,
this time it's Zenimax.
This time it is Zenimax.
And we're going to rush through this because I'm fed up of talking about Fallout 76.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So the ACCC, or the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission,
yes,
has ordered Zenimax to give refunds for Fallout 76.
However, the refunds are only going to be given to people who contacted them between the 24th of November last year and the 1st of June this year. So only those people will be entitled to refunds. Yes,
this is after customers made requests for a refund and were told that they had no right to a refund.
Yep.
Because Bethesda/Zenimax have been saying that any downloadable purchase or purchase of the game cannot be refunded, because as soon as you own it, that's it, they don't have any desire to give you any money back. However, that is against the law in Australia. You have to offer people a chance to give a refund if the product does not work.
And now Zenimax have admitted that they were likely to have misled certain Australian consumers about their rights to a refund when they experienced faults with the Fallout 76 game, and Zenimax have also agreed to amend their customer service documents to clarify consumer rights under the ACL.
Australian consumer law?
I think so.
Yep. So, so people took the case to the ACCC, and they won.
ACCC.
The ACCC. And
triple, not triple.
The ACCC.
Triple C. ACCC. Treble is 3.
Yeah, but triple is as well.
I don't like the name. It sounds worse. A treble C.
A treble cliff. Yeah, I feel a wee bit bad for people that didn't write in and ask for a refund, because that story could have got out and people could have just thought, oh, I don't have right to a refund. Oh, and so they didn't bother. And
Yeah.
I'd feel that shouldn't apply. Everybody, if Zenimax turn around and give out this faulty information, everybody who wants a refund should be given one. That's a fair punishment as well as whatever else they were given.
Yeah.
Because if you're told by the company, no, you're not allowed a refund, well, why are you going to suddenly say, can I have a refund, please? That doesn't make sense.
No.
So I think that punishment isn't strong enough. I'm going quite hard line today, am I not?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to stop it there before you get any more hard lines. So it is...
What kind of name is FaZe Jarvis?
Thank you for listening.
He's in America.
We hope you've enjoyed this. You can follow us on Facebook at OverShadow.ShadowCast. I don't actually know if Facebook is still up and running, because you told me last week you weren't looking at it anymore.
Yeah, I decided to shut that down until we're actually... It's not down, but I've not used it until we're actually putting up videos.
So yes, so you can contact us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. You can leave a comment if you'd like. That'd be fantastic. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that little notification bell. I think that's all I've got to say.
You can leave a comment or you can email us, as has been said, and any comments at all are welcome. We'll just self-filter them at this end.
Why did you call me Abby?
Gail.
Shut up.
Did I call you Abby or did I say as you?
I think you said as Ab said or Abby said.
I don't think I did.
I'll find out.
Oh, now I'm worried, because if I've called you a different name at some point, we're in trouble. Please don't let me have called you Mum. Anyway, as Tech Wizard has said, stuff. Yeah, so you can... what was it we were talking about?
I don't know.
What were we talking about?
We're saying goodbye.
Yeah, we can self-filter, so just send us whatever you want and we'll self-filter it.
Okay.
Questions are welcome though. We've had one question and we have answered that question. Any more questions and we'd like to answer them too.
Goodbye.
Bye.